Okay, so our driveway goes way down that way, turns a bend, and comes all the way up the front of the property. This area down in here is actually where our creek runs. It runs at the back side of the hayfield, which is what the driveway runs around. And I know it all looks like just a lot of green right now. I'm just gonna kind of walk and talk. This is our gravel pit. That's a friend of mine's target dummy. His name's Kevin. The gravel pit, that's all kind of elevated going up, and there's a big rock ridge up along there. Lots of blueberries up there, and the gravel keeps going back in through. We've had friends camp out here. It's really buggy tonight. And part of the reason I'm kind of walking and talking is because Samantha's the farmer. I'm a bit of a forager. I like all the plants we've got here. So right now we've got purple clover just about done. That's these guys. Goldenrod, which is a weed, but it's really good for kidneys, things like bladder infections and stuff. All these little white flowers, well, little white flowers, those are oxeye daisies. Most of the green in behind all of this stuff is actually raspberries. We've got tons of raspberry here. So pretty much a lot of that hill there is covered in raspberry. Driveway keeps on going. It's a kilometer and a half, and I'm not hiking the whole thing, but I figured I'd give you some idea of what our place looks like. The old driveway used to go up, around, and come out up there. And the guy that lived here before us, he had a bulldozer and didn't care for that nonsense, so he plowed it straight through this section here. There's a spot I'm going over right now that you can't see because it's all grown in, but basically there's like a trench that runs along here. Water runs under the road, right where this reflector thing is. And right now it's kind of dry, so we haven't had the water running. But it runs out basically just straight out into the woods there. And down to that creek at the front. Not right in here. Right in here we do get the bull thistle sometimes. But we do get a lot of, what do you call it? Cranberries. Further down the driveway. Cranberries, choke cherries. The pin cherries are just about done right now. This stuff lining the middle of the driveway is actually mugwort. Mugwort actually looks a lot like ragweed. The way you can tell the difference is you basically, if you crush the leaves and smell them, mugwort smells herbal. Ragweed doesn't smell like much of anything. Mugwort is good if you mix it into almost like a tea. You can use it as a wash. It's antifungal, antibacterial, a bunch of that stuff. So yeah, just a lot of the plants and stuff we got on here look like weeds because they are weeds. Lots of ferns, but it's kind of one of those things, if you know certain plants and their uses, there's a lot of diversity here. It's not just that wall of green. Our choke cherries and cranberries should be starting soon because last year they started right after the pin cherries. That's all ferns. I like to hide in there and jump out at the kids. Did that once last year. Abby was riding by on her bike. She kept riding by and I kept going, Abby! And she'd ride right by. Where are you? Then when I finally jumped out, she laughed, but I was covered in mosquito bites. Here's an example of our rock ridge. One of them. We've actually got 3 on the property. And actually this section in here, not sure from whereabouts. I think it's right in here. The reason this is kind of trampled down, Samantha's been working in there when I'm at work during the day. He can't see it, but basically behind this like swath of green, it thins out a fair bit down in where the trees are. And we're fencing in another section for pig pen. The current pig pen starts way down there, and we've got a secondary one to about here, and then we got a third one kind of all the way down to somewhere in here. The secondary and third one are still being worked on right now. We're not crazy, we don't want a whole bunch of pigs, but pigs are very big animals, and her first litter was like 6 of them, so we just wanted more room. I do have cranberry. It's high bush cranberry. It's a little different than marsh cranberry, but it's planted right in here somewhere. Oh, there it is. So again, wall of green. Have to know what you're looking for. There's actually a half shrunken, shriveled up, dried up one from I think last year. This leaf. That's my cranberry. That one's been chewed on. So this one actually I planted here. The cranberries and haskaps I bought at a local nursery. And that was before we even knew we had cranberries on site. But I planted that one there. And then later on in the year when the cranberries actually came in season, I found down around the corner where I started off, the other side of the gravel pit there, just full mature bushes, just full of the cranberries. The kids like them, the bears like them. So that's kind of, it's a bit of a joke that I've got this one sad, pathetic little cranberry bush here started. We'll see how it does. Sometimes it's best to just let nature do its own thing though, and we've been kind of spitting seeds as we go, trying to bring them up this way, because yeah, when the bugs are bad, you don't want to walk that whole way to have a handful of cranberries. But that's it.